Okay. How would you describe Zambia's democracy during the time you've been in the country?
Well, I think that there's a thriving democracy in that, if you tried to take democracy away from the people here, I think that there would be an absolute uproar. I mean, I think the idea of democracy is very, very important to people, and it's definitely taken root here.
It does. I was about to say we have embraced it, and we seem to be finding our feet, and
I agree completely, and I mean, you have historical precedent for that too. I mean, at the end of KK's term as president, I mean, you have this groundswell of people. I would like to see people feel more empowered. People feel like they can use their vote as a power transaction. That if a candidate is not representing me, then I feel like I can go and vote for someone else. It's something that we've tried to do, in the course of our 200-plus year history in the United States, is to use the power of the ballot box to determine the direction that our country is going to go. And I do find, talking to people here, that some people feel like their voice is not maybe heard as loudly as it could be. And I would love to see, going forward, the ability for all Zambians who are eligible to get registered to vote and to go and use their vote. I mean, if you think about it, in the last election, there were many, many people that weren't able to vote. And now going forward to 2011, you've got millions of people who might be first-time voters. I mean, that's a lot of power. And I hope that when I read the newspapers in Zambia, I am able to read that millions and millions of people turned out, because I think that's a great way to be empowered in a society.
Okay. And democracy in Africa as a whole, what's your take on that?
Well, there's hits and misses. I was just reading about the 20 Club. There's a whole group of, I think, 6 presidents or maybe 7 presidents that have been in power for more than 20 years. Well, that's a long time.
It is, definitely.
And these are probably...
We kind of need to check that.
These are probably democratically elected presidents. Mm-hmm. And so, in the United States, 8 years is the limit. In Zambia, 10 years is the limit. It ebbs and flows in Africa. I mean, I think there are examples of good democracies, and then there are places that are really struggling to get around it. But I think the concept is strong, and it's a matter of empowering the people, really, at the end of the day, isn't it? It's just about getting the people to believe that they have the power to change their society.
True. And the 2 elections that you witnessed in 2006 and 2008, your comment on that, your thoughts, your observations?
Well, I'm lucky most of the time because I get to travel, and so I get to get out in Zambia. But during the elections, don't you know, they never let me travel. They make me sit by my desk so I can monitor the media. So most of my election, and Zofeli sitting here as well, it's just been sitting at our desks. But yeah, I think it was tough this last time out. I mean, obviously there was the tragedy of the president passing early, and an election being called and trying to mobilize people in a short amount of time. I think it's disappointing that more people who should have been eligible to vote weren't able to vote. And so that's moving forward. Again, I think that's really important that these people are able to register and to go out and vote. But the election, I was fairly new in 2006, but there was a lot more enthusiasm and I think a higher turnout for that election.
Okay. After 3 years in Zambia, what's next for Christopher Wurst?
Yeah, I've got to go back to the United States and learn a language. One of the great things about my job is that if you go to a foreign country that speaks a different language, I'm going to Slovenia, which is a former Yugoslavian nation. It's only 18 years old.
Okay.
And they speak Slovenian.
Uh-huh.
And so for the next year, the State Department will pay me to get up in the morning and go to school and learn Slovenian.
Okay.
So I will be a student for the next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Where exactly are you from in the United States?
I'm from Minnesota.
Okay.
So Minnesota is in the middle part of the country, up north. It's very cold. We have winters where we get to 50 below zero, if you believe that. We have snow.
Very, very cold.
We have snow that comes up to your waist at times. It's the home of Hubert Humphrey, who was a vice president, Prince, the brilliant musician, Bob Dylan, and my favorite, the Minnesota Twins baseball team. But I know nobody likes baseball.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Well, maybe because I stayed in the States, but
okay,
yeah, you'd be
good.
very surprised. Okay. Yeah, how much of a challenge do you expect in your next assignment?
Well, it'll be very different. I think that there will be much less development work, and I will miss that because I really have enjoyed getting out and seeing the grassroots efforts. You know, I've said this a lot, but the real heroes in Zambia, and there are so many people who are real heroes, but they're the people who are working in rural areas at the grassroots level that are trying to change lives, one life at a time. And there are so many people who are just passionate and committed. It might be education, it might be an NGO for governance, it might be HIV and AIDS or malaria or getting people healthy. But there are so many people that are doing truly wonderful work here. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss that kind of development angle. Probably be doing a lot of cultural things, which I've done here as well. And that I love. So getting to know musicians, getting to know people in the arts, and then getting to know students, which is another thing I've been able to do here. We've done a number of programs with the universities and even secondary students here, and I love still getting out with students.
Nice. How long do you see yourself in diplomatic service?
I don't know. It's a really wonderful career. Mm-hmm. It's a great job if you don't like to do the same thing all the time, because it always changes. Yeah. And one morning you might wake up and get a call that the president's going to come to your country, and then the next 3 months of your life have completely been consumed. And it's really lucky. But one thing that even people in America don't realize is the scope of the work that we do across the world. But here in Zambia, it's truly amazing, and I know it might sound like I'm bragging, but we help change lives, and in some cases we help save lives in this country through our work in health and education and governance, and it's true. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, I go home and see that we're affecting people's lives for the better, and the more I get to know people all across the world, truly, the more I realize how similar we all are. So I feel very, very lucky.
Nice. Where do you... sorry, I didn't talk about your family. We didn't talk about your family. Married?
Yep, I have a wife and 2 small children, 5 and 7.
All right. So everybody's coming with...
Yeah, everybody's here, and they love their time here. Both my kids like Shima. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going to get their Shima fix when we go to Slovenia.
It might be a bit of a problem.
It will be a problem. But they've been able to travel through the country. They know about different parts of the country, different parts of the culture through their school. Both kids could pronounce Mwanawasa at age 5 and age 3, which I think is pretty good.
Good achievement.
So they're gonna definitely miss it here, but we've really enjoyed our time.
Okay. Ever coming back to visit?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got too many projects that I'm still up in the air with, but especially some of the projects that we're doing with musicians, and hopefully Zambians can look forward to hearing more original songs from some of these dream teams that have been, where different artists come together and work as a team.
I see exactly what you mean.
We'd love to do some more of that, more programs with the University of Zambia. And my deputy, his name is Sarah Staley, is doing great work in the theater, and lots of stuff.
Okay,
it's a good stuff.
Nice one.
I should actually, if I have 2 seconds, I want to put out a promo for. We've got this great program.
I'm going to charge you.
Yeah,
no, I'm just playing.
No, it's good. It's good.
Go ahead.
It's called the Democracy Video Challenge, and it was this program that was put on by the State Department and YouTube, and they asked people around the world to submit 3-minute films that answered the statement "democracy is," and it was wide open. And we promoted this heavily, and Zambia had 9 entries, which was the most of any country in Africa.
Really?
And then from those 9 entries, and all of the entries from Africa, which were hundreds, they chose 3 finalists. And Zambia has a finalist. His name is Chansa Tembo.
Great.
And we find out on Tuesday if he's going to be one of the people from around the world that's chosen to go to New York and Washington and Hollywood for this contest. So if people go onto YouTube to Democracy Video Challenge, they can vote and actually send a Zambian to the United States, which we think would be wonderful.
Fantastic, yeah. That is a really great development there. Yeah. Okay. What do you think of our new place, the new QFM?
I think it's very impressive here on Addis Ababa Road. Yeah, it's great.
It's been a long time coming. Did you ever come up to our old place in the
Yes,
house?
I did. And Zofeli's sitting here. She's still thanking her lucky stars that there aren't so many stairs, because she would have been there much more often if there wasn't that stairway. But I always told her it was very good exercise. But no, this is luxury. This is a very comfortable chair, beautiful studio. This is state of the art, my friend.
Thank you so much. Christopher Wurst, it's been fantastic talking to you. We wish you all the best in all future endeavors, in your 1 year learning Slovenian and in your next assignment in Slovenia.